think we're on our like 165th episode or something. And I'm laughing. When we started at 6:30 in the morning, when we knew nobody was watching us and we were just getting our, feet wet, I would get so nervous when I pressed the go button. Like, here we go. And then can I hit the button to do our intro fast enough? And now it's like, go.
Well, I didn't realize how much stress I was putting on it. So Anne is the technology of this show. She does everything, and she does it all very well. And she has hidden from me until just now that she was a little afraid of this, because I've been like, yeah, she's got it.
No, it's so scary to me. So scary. But anyway, we've been doing it long enough now. And folks, if you want to chuckle, go to YouTube, go back either Kyle's or my and look at her early stuff. It's really fun, isn't it? Yeah.
That's what experience is. It's learning how to do it. We did it at 6:30 so that no one would watch.
Right.
And no one watched. So it worked out.
That was good.
Yes.
Yeah, we got our sea legs. But today, folks, we are
like our
165th episode or something, and we come to you every week. I'm with Kyle Harvey. I'm Anne.Rossley. We're with Baird & Warner, downtown Chicago. We sell luxury real estate, and our office is in the Gold Coast. So we love to talk about what's going on. If you have any questions, please reach out. Please subscribe to all our social media so that you can see us every week and reach out if you have questions. So that being said, today we're going to go through our typical format with you. We're going to talk about stats, but because we're at the end of the month, we're going to talk about a little bit different statistics. And then Kyle's got a great section on what's on our minds. And then we're going to talk a little bit about spring photography, because that's really important right now. We are right now in the best photography week of the year. Wouldn't you say?
No, I like a little bit heavier summer, but yes, this is beautiful.
Well, when I'm doing exteriors of homes, if they're too full foliage, I can't get a lot of it. So this way,
I get it.
I get a little flower, I get a little peek through.
No, it's also it's an optimistic photograph. It says spring is here. Oh, yeah. Because we're telling stories through photographs. That's what our photography is all about. So
yeah. Exactly right. So, all right. So today we have, as I said, a little bit different stats. Should I just jump right in? I'm going to take off all our stuff so you can see the top of our. And when I showed you, I started with Lincoln Park and worked down. Today I'm going to do loop and move forward. Here's the loop, folks. Area 8032 census tract, and you can see there are different zones within it. At the top is Lakeshore East, or the New East Side, and then we're going to talk Cultural Mile. So first, in terms of the whole loop, in March, 63 closed, 75 went under contract, 259 are currently for sale. And on the bottom graph to the right, you'll see that we're experiencing the same low inventory, although it has ticked up over the last couple months. Here's the thing that I find so interesting. On average right now, Chicago lakefront communities, because we always talk lakefront communities, there's a 2-month average of properties on the market. In the loop,
it's so low.
It is so low, so incredibly low. Multiple offer, flying off the shelf kind of stuff. But there's no inventory. I mean, help me. I'm like senior moment. We're talking 4 months in terms of it takes 4 months to sell out what's on the market given the rate of sale. Because there's low numbers, we have fewer sales.
Yes.
It's still 4 months worth. It's like the old slope or rate of,
The rate has slowed down. It seems slower because there's so little to sell.
Yes,
but it's not because there's so little interest.
All right. The median sales price in the loop is $400,000. Now, as you know, I live on the Cultural Mile, and so I'm always interested to see what's going on here. It's one of the 2 areas that we look at for luxury properties. And 8 closed last month, 13 are under contract, only 39 are for sale. And this includes buildings like the Heritage, 6 North Michigan, the Legacy at 60 East Monroe, 65 My Building, blah, blah, blah. All right.
What's the northern end of the Cultural Mile?
That would be the Heritage at 130 North Garland Court,
okay.
Randolph.
Basically
the Millennium Park, Grant Park.
I just wanted to make sure I knew how far north it went.
Right. Median sales price though, 627.5. So, I mean, this is more the luxury area versus like where the kids are going to college, the DePaul kids in Columbia that, and the med students and all that. So anyway, 5.8 months is a balanced inventory, but compare that to the rest of the marketplace. And, this has been going on since COVID, that the loop, there was this big grand, let's move to Millennium Park thing, right? And it's really slowed down. All right, New East Side. And this is that area you can see in the green in the middle of the pink rectangle. That's Lakeshore East Park. This includes everything from the old 400 East Randolph and Harbor Point to the St. Regis. And you gave us the information last time we met about the new building going in right behind Prudential Plaza. So in this area, 22 closed, 25 under contract, 85 for sale. Now it is skewed, and you're I'm going to say it before you do because you always point this out. When you have new construction like the St. Regis or the Cirrus, they pocket listings and don't put them on the MLS. So there's a hidden inventory, if you will. And I know that because I just sold at the St. Regis. You and I were talking about this. It wasn't until I called Layla that I found out just exactly what inventory was available because it was not on the MLS. So
yeah,
folks, make sure you have an agent that digs deep. Okay, that's a 4.4 month inventory, less than the Cultural Mile. Median sales price of $545. Now, granted, that's median, folks. That does not include, the
midpoint.
It's a midpoint, right? Okay, so now I took Loop year to date and number of sales down 3.2 from the year before, but even compared to 2022, 900 versus 782, it's down. All right, now I'm going to jump over to Cathedral District, and here's the map of the Cathedral District. It's basically behind Michigan Avenue around not Old St. Pat's. Hello.
Holy people.
St. James, etc. Holy cow. All right. In that area, and that includes like the new 14 Superior, 1 Chicago. It includes 10 Delaware, all those. 20 closed, 26 under contract, 105 for sale. Median sales price of 520 and 4.5. But I want now to jump to the whole near north area and condos. Okay. 200.
This is the full near north side?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Gold Coast, Streeterville,
River North.
River North. Thank you. Which Cathedral District is a
part of Old Town.
210 closed, 303 under contract, 786 for sale. 3.5 month inventory. So moving faster than the Loop. 425,000 price. Median price is higher than the Loop, and you can see median price is going up after a dip. Okay, sales. Sales are really good. I mean, we're not through the roof, but it's very healthy. Not as much inventory, but they're selling.
Yeah, no, they are selling. I live in a building that has had a lot of interest, and we're going through a huge construction project, and people are like, I don't even care. There's a real strong feeling of people wanting to be in the Gold Coast, people wanting to be in our area.
Right. Well, and I'm excited to see everything going on in the Gold Coast because the neighborhood is so important, right? It's so close to Michigan Avenue, the Lakefront, Old Town, beautiful architecture. And the housing stock was getting older with the condo buildings. And so I'm so excited to see them going through this process and really investing to have great inventory for the future. And your building, I love what they're doing. So it's all good.
They all have to do it. And because there's going to be no new big building in
right. There's no land left.
Well, it's interesting. I'd be for another day. Keep going through this and then we'll talk about the other thing.
Okay. So now let's go to Lincoln Park. And I did both condos and single family for Lincoln Park. So 110 closed, 125 under contract, 96 for sale. And you can see low inventory on the bottom right. Only 1.1 month of inventory for condos. And the median sales price, look on the bottom right, keeps going up, 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 up. If you want to buy a condo in Lincoln Park, buckle your seatbelts, folks. There's not much available.
No.
And there are 1,093, but I would say that that's because there's nothing to sell. All right, single families, 17 closed, 15 under contract, 32 for sale. Only 2.2 months. That's another buckle your seatbelt kind of situation. Now, prices have gone down. I would suggest that's not because a home is worth less. It's because fewer luxury homes are selling. Would you agree?
Or on the market. Fewer luxury
on the market, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. The median sales price doesn't tell you anything other than there are more people are finally putting the cottages on the market.
Yes, of which you had one you were looking at this week with the buyer. Yeah. Yeah.
A couple of tiny workers' cottages, and they're asking astronomical pricing.
Look at this chart. That's year to date. 3 months worth of sales in Lincoln Park.
Wait. 29 is for 2024 or 2024.
Oh, this is screwed up. This is, I reworked these. So apologies. No, you're exactly right.
24 and 25.
Look at the title, January through March.
Right.
I did a terrible job of updating my slide.
Sorry.
And I thank you for pointing it out. No,
so
but that was
45 good. Is January, 50 is February, and 20.
No, they're all January through March. The first one is 2023.
Sorry.
January through March. No, don't apologize. It's exactly right to ask the question. The second one is January through March 2024, and the third one is January through March 2025.
Got it. Wow.
So it's a year to date. Yeah. So for 3 months, we've only closed 29 in Lincoln Park versus 50 during the same time period last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That can only be inventory.
Exactly. Right. People would love to live there. There's just nothing.
Nothing.
All right. So that's it. That's my stats of today.
Well, going back to people say, why isn't the Gold Coast appreciating? Why aren't prices going up? Why is everything sort of staying the same? And I say to them, there are a couple of things in play. One, older housing stock. And right. Two, there's no new construction. When there's new construction, it brings people in. It brings energy in. It brings new businesses in, and all the boats rise. What is going on? Why? So JDL is building on the old Moody Bible campus, rental buildings. Are those going to go condo at some point?
Yeah.
I just, because there's a ton of construction, but it seems to be all rental.
Right.
I
agree with you. I think there's an opportunity for maybe the cost is so high
and that new behemoth at the corner of LaSalle and North Avenue that they've finally gotten through, Fern, whatever it is gotten approval for rentals. There is such demand people are doing rentals because they can't get condos. It seems weird. But I guess investors are making so much money on rentals in these areas that they're like, I'll buy up the space and turn it into rentals. And when the rental gets tired, I'll turn it into a condo building.
Well, that's what they're doing with 850 Lakeshore.
Well, they did. I think they always were going to at some point turn that.
No, I think they started out, didn't they? But then COVID hit, if I remember.
I think it was even older than that. I think it started. I think they bought it in the downturn, and then they were like, let's rent it for a while.
Yeah.
And then they got the money together to fix it up. But
I haven't been over there in a while. I need to go over and check out their sales and find out what's going on. Not that they're really always open about that, but maybe I'd like to.
what's really interesting is people who live there feel very put upon. They feel that they should get a deal when it's buying because they want to stay in their apartment. They're like, I'll stay here. I love living.
That's the way it used to be, though, Kyle.
Was it?
That if you and people, that's why people would buy in these buildings, is they would want to be the first in. Oh God, I'm aging myself now. You'd want to be the first in so that you could have that deal when they converted the condo, and they would give owners, and then they would sell a bunch, and then they would go to the public and say, you know, the price would be higher by that point. So then people who had bought early made or earned equity because the prices had gone up. And then it appeared to the public that it was such a great place to live because so many owners had bought in there. So it was a win-win-win. And you bring up an interesting point. They're really not using that model anymore, are they? In these conversions. Like,
no, they're not. And their feelings are so hurt. I mean, they're shocked at the prices, shocked.
But see, that's how Invesco did all of their developments over the years. You know it? Whether it was Lake Point Tower or 111 Chestnut, they were, and
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, people, interesting.
Oh my gosh, I'm dating myself. Let's talk about something new instead of old. Bring on the news, baby.
How do I do that?
Oh, I guess I have to. Let me scroll up here.
I have no control.
Here's your beautiful slide again, on our minds.
See, this is because I have no creativity. I can't come up with a new slide. So everyone just enjoy this slide.
Oh, we love seeing this slide. This is very lovely. Okay, show us what you got.
So this is so I was trying to come up with topics that, various topics that were sort of, and perhaps they're interesting to me because I'm a real estate professional, but so I was like, what are we talking about? So one of the things everyone is talking about this is, what is a recession going to mean for the real estate market? How confident are real estate consumers? So, as you're a buyer, how are you feeling about things? And not just you, but the group of you. Right. And then, because, I'm so interested in what's going on in these changes with NAR and the rules and Compass picking fights with every single company it possibly can. I did not put the newest fight that Compass has gotten itself into.
Yeah, let it go. Circle back to it.
We'll come back to it. So anyway, Zillow has come up with a new thing that I thought was sort of interesting because anyway, we'll start here with a recession does not mean falling prices. Other than a recession caused by the housing market. It really doesn't. Look at how much prices actually rise during the majority of these. In 1991, there was a slight dip, but
in 2008, the crisis was because of housing. So
we caused this crisis. This is us. I've always heard that when the stock market goes down, people buy real estate.
Right. They want a hard asset. Absolutely.
Hard asset. So people do not necessarily assume. And here's another thing that helps with it. A recession generally means that mortgage rates will fall.
Right.
So, I would, if I were a buyer, I would jump into the market now if I could find something that I wanted, and then refinance when the rates go down. Yeah. So, don't let mortgage rates be the reason. I understand affordability feels terrible. And Chicago has been so much more affordable than other metro areas. Mm-hmm. And it is going up, but it's still so much more affordable. Did you see the article, Anne, that there are some metro areas, and they are on the East Coast and they are in the South, where a starter home is now over $1 million.
Isn't that crazy? I know.
I mean, good Lord. And I just want you guys to see that even with all the chaos that is going on with us right now, the green is 2025. We're going up.
Right.
So prices are rising. Do not think that we are, that there's some sort of catastrophe coming for real estate. The prices are still up. So then we've got something about confidence. So how are buyers feeling? And Anne's stats this morning show a very, very strong seller's market, that buyers are out there. There's not, what is out on the market is getting bought. So here's just some data, and this is countrywide data. So this is not just Chicago. Days on market was 36 days in March 2025. So a property on the market would have been on the market for about 36 days, down from 42 days in February, so hotter, but that's typical for March. It's hotter than February, up from 33 days in March 2024. Mm-hmm. I think there was less inventory in 2024. First-time buyers, because inventory is rising. First-time buyers had 32% of sales in March. So Gen Z millennials are buying 32% of sales in March, up from 31% in February, and the same as last year. So a big, healthy portion are the lower price sales. Cash sales accounted for 26% of transactions in March, down from 32% in February and 28% in March 2024. And I have to tell you, I see a lot of cash sales in my transactions. How about you? Are you seeing mortgages or cash?
Mostly cash.
And that doesn't mean that they don't get a mortgage at some point, but they're showing up for the transaction closing with cash. Mm-hmm. So individual investors or second home buyers, again, these are mostly cash sale people, purchased 15% of homes in March, down from 16% in February, and the same as last year. So people are still buying second homes and investing in properties. And foreclosures and short sales, so the distressed homes, are still really low. Everyone starts to think, oh, there's a recession. It's necessarily going to mean that there's a big increase in foreclosures and short sales. Nothing is being seen yet. Okay, so that's just so you people have a sense of, and then just this thing. I thought, isn't that a cute thing? That's the last thing. So Zillow, we talked last week, or the last time we were on, that Zillow is really angry at the new rules that allow listing agents to avoid putting their properties on the IDX feed, which is the feed that goes out to Zillow, to Redfin, to BairdandWarner.com, to Compass.com, and it only keeps those listings on the MLS visible to agents. Okay, so there's an ability now to just do that. So Zillow has gotten really angry about that and has said to it's going to never show a listing that has ever said no IDX feed. Okay. So what are they going to do? All of a sudden, they're going to have fewer and fewer properties to show. So Zillow is adding more properties to its main feed. It's always had these properties. These properties are auction properties and for sale by owner properties, but it hid it in a separate feed. And it was sort of tricky for you, the buyer, you, the consumer, and us, the agent, to find them.
Right. You'd have to use the filter and then say, yeah.
And I don't use Zillow as my attention.
But you got me going though, Kyle. You got me going.
Go.
Look what I did. I went to our Zillow locally, and I just drew a little map. This 535 Michigan 503, that's by owner. Do you see that on the far right top? By owner. And it was right in there. I didn't have to do anything. So they're doing it here.
Yeah, they're doing, but here, we've always had the rules. We've always had the capability that is now written in the rules. We've always had the ability to keep our listings off the IDX feed. We've never wanted to do that.
Right. But I'm saying that Zillow in Chicago now is putting the for sale by owners right in with everything.
Absolutely. No, they're absolutely doing it because they need to fill out the feed.
Right. Right.
And I think that's very interesting.
Mhm.
Now, for sale by owners, people means that really the owner is, there are two ways people can do for sale by owner. One is they pay a brokerage to put it on the MLS. They pay $250, $500, and this real estate broker will put it on the MLS, but the seller does everything else. The brokerage doesn't help in any way in the transaction. It might take the offers and forward them to the seller, but they really do nothing else. But it allows agents and the public to pretend as though it's
They drive
represented by
me
an agent.
crazy.
But here's the thing: for sale by owners do much worse. They just get less
Sell
money,
for less money. Yeah.
take much longer to sell.
And did you know that 80% of them end up listing with their real estate agent anyway?
I totally believe it, because they're like, well, I don't know why this isn't selling.
Yeah.
And I know somebody who's doing it, who is for sale, who sold it properties herself before, and she's doing it for this latest property, and it's not selling, and she doesn't know why.
Right. Yeah. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
It's tough. So anyway, that's what's going on.
Interesting. So last week we ran out of time and I wasn't able to show you this upcoming listing. I've been preparing to get this property on the market forever, and weather did not cooperate for photographs and this and that and the other. And we were talking earlier about this being such a great week for photographs. So you ready for me to share with you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. Present. So the property is at the Heritage, and
this is a beautiful
share
cultural
screen.
mile property.
Okay, I think this is, yes. Okay. There it is. Can you see it?
Yes.
All right. So this is what happens, folks, when you decide you must take a photo of the property during sunny days. See the floor and then the shadows and everything. And I'm just going to kind of scroll through. It's a little washed out.
It looks, it's just too bright. The bedroom looks fine because it doesn't have direct sunlight.
Exactly right. So I'm going to kill that now. And now I'm going to present the newer version. This is where we had a cloudy day and we put in.
Yes. Beautiful.
Yeah, those are fake blue skies behind, but and look how rich it looks. The other thing is we moved the furniture out.
Yeah, you made it less full.
Yeah, isn't that much better? And see what a week will do on photographs to get like prettier greenery at Millennium Park.
Uh-huh.
So here again, the only weirdness, and I will point this out, if you look in the lake, you see the lake is like green and then the sky is blue. That lake would have been blue if it had been really a sunny sky, but anywho.
But it also allows the lake and the sky to look different. So that actually worked out well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But, and then the other problem that we had, and I want to just, I've already gotten rid of the others, so I can't really show you, but the property has these cove lights. See above the window here and to the left? We had to manipulate this because in person it looks fabulous. In photos, it was yellow, yellow, yellow. And if you just took your iPhone and took a picture, you'd get that yellow above. And it just makes it look kind of dirty. But anyway,
wow.
This was VHT. They were able to, it doesn't affect how the property looks. It just, so many people make a decision to look based on properties, photographs, that you can't screw it up.
Yeah, you really have to be very careful.
So, yeah.
Anyway. No, those are beautiful pictures. Tell us about the price.
So the price is going to be $1,239. It is 2,157 square feet. It's the 41st floor. I mean, look at the views.
They're incredible.
And look at the view from the bathroom here. Isn't that a hootenanny?
Yeah.
But custom cabinetry, cove lighting, crestron, motorized shades, the whole bit. Balcony.
Wait. The toilet looks out the window?
Yes.
Is there anything that anyone could see them on the John, or does that come down?
Yes, if you leave the shades up, but these are filtered shades, so you get your view. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, you have natural light to put on your makeup. This is the second bathroom suite, by the way, which is another thing I love. It's totally en suite, bedroom, bath,
Oh, yeah.
walk-in closet.
Well, I also sort of think that bathrooms don't necessarily need, that's a lot of wasted outside light.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
this is the prime
Beautiful though.
tier, though.
Yeah.
270-degree views. Look
Incredible.
at this. This is a custom cabinet, storage underneath. It's a great way to make use of this long hallway.
Gorgeous.
So, and then there are your fireworks
The
views.
money shot.
Yeah. So,
Do we still have? I haven't heard them. Are we still having fireworks Saturday?
yeah, they usually start May 1.
Okay, so I thought we even had them in the winter. We used to have them in the winter.
Maybe not anymore. No.
Okay, well, they're coming back, people, next week.
Okay, so yes, let's talk about this for 30 seconds because I know we're getting short on time. The harbors are opening this week. They've already put the cans in the water. We're going to have Buckingham Fountain starting up. We're going to have the fireworks starting up.
City's coming alive.
Spring's here, yeah. And today it's going to be warm. So, anything else?
76 and windy today. Everybody enjoy.
Oh, is that it? Wow. All right. What else do you have for us before we go?
We got nothing. Have a great week, everybody.
Thanks. Everybody, take care. We'll see you next time.